Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Inoculated status not recognized. The United Kingdom does not recognize the vaccine code for Jamaica, causing locals who are fully inoculated against COVID-19 to be designated unvaccinated on arrival in that European country.
That is a situation that was confirmed by the UK authorities, that they do not recognize vaccinations that are administered in Jamaica. My mother passed in the UK. The funeral was on the 23rd of August. US citizens, as of August 2nd, as long as they are fully vaccinated, you do not need to be quarantined. I proceeded to go through the United States, being a US citizen. I proceeded to go through the United States because time was of the essence, and I wanted to get to the UK in the shortest available time by the best route. When I did all my tests, mandatory tests, I applied to land in the UK, as is the requirement now. Everybody have to apply to land in the UK. Just like Jamaica, people coming back to Jamaica, you have to apply and get that permission. One of the requirements was that if you were not fully vaccinated, then you would be required to be quarantined for 10 days, and you'd have to pay for 3 tests. Before you are even allowed on the plane, you have to show proof of payment for those 3 tests. For persons who are fully vaccinated, you need only 2 tests. A day 2 and a day 8 test. When I reached the airport to be checked in, the flight attendant and the supervisors told me that I had a problem with my vaccination situation, because the United Kingdom does not recognize any vaccine that is administered in Jamaica. So I tried to tell them that I impressed on them that I did in fact have the AstraZeneca vaccine, which was developed by the UK, joint with the UK and France, I think it was. They said no, the instructions are that if you are not vaccinated with the vaccines that are approved by the CDC in America, and if you're not vaccinated in America and other countries such as Japan and a few countries in Europe, then the UK would not recognize that vaccination status. So I was forced to redo the application to enter and to say I was not vaccinated. I dealt with it when I reached the UK, but that is a situation that was confirmed by the UK authorities, that they do not recognize vaccinations that are administered in Jamaica. I don't know if it was somebody who took that on themselves. It was just a misunderstanding on my part. But I was told not only by the persons who were manning the flight for Virgin, but by the authorities in the UK as well.
So there's a possibility that if you've been vaccinated in Jamaica with, you said, the AstraZeneca,
yeah.
Right, you would have to be revaccinated.
No. There's no question about revaccination.
Okay.
The only question is about the quarantine. I would have been forced to undergo 10 days of quarantine. Whereas if I had the vaccine administered in the United States or Japan or any other few countries in Europe that the UK recognizes, then I would not have to be quarantined.
So you're treated as an unvaccinated person.
That's what I had. That's what I had to do to enter into the United Kingdom. I would not use this as a deterrent to get the vaccine. I happily took the vaccine. I had choices, but I waited until it was available in Jamaica, and I took what was available to me at the time, at the earliest time that I could have gotten it. So I would not use it as a deterrent. Other persons have traveled to the United Kingdom. My sister and my nephew, they left straight out of Jamaica, and they went. They were vaccinated with Johnson & Johnson. Immigration didn't give them the type of lecture that I got.
Slain Comfort, mom of 2, warned to flee after house firebomb twice. A grieving Ian Richards is still wishing that his daughter, 32-year-old Anna K. Richards, had heeded his agonizing plea to flee for her life from Comfort, Manchester.
Comfort has become very uncomfortable, you know, and as I say, we hope to see better things happening for Comfort.
We're investigating this murder that occurred last night. It is early days yet. We do not have many leads, but we're asking persons who would have any information whatsoever that can assist the police to do so. There are various methods that can be used to do so. You can call the Mandeville Police Station 962-2250, 961-5538-9, or you can call me on my personal cell phone number. It's 238-7747. Please, citizens, residents of the Comfort area, assist the police so that we can put an end to these occurrences that are occurring in your space.
Anarchy is my daughter, and eventually what happened yesterday, I sent her out on errands for me. When she reached home, it was about after 7 minutes after 7. I was the one who have the kids throughout the day. So when she get home, I look about the children, see that they get their food, bathroom until she gets home. When she get here, I ask her if she's hungry. She say yes. She asks me what I prepare. I tell her, she say she would partake of some. So I go in the kitchen, hot up some for her and give it to her with some drinks. In doing so, I said to her, well, I have to go due to the curfew house. That was after 7. Yes, we are done after 7. Further out the road. But she stays here along with the 2 kids. So I tell her, I say, I have to go. Anyway, in doing so, head home. When I was out by the house, the 2 little grandchild, the 2 little son, come by, knocking on the door, and say they kick off the door and they shoot Mommy. That was what time? After 8. It was after 8. So eventually, talking to the children then. How old are the children? 1 4, 1 12. So the bigger one told me that them was in the living room, playing them games as usual. She was in the bedroom because you know so it's pretty early. So the bigger one told me that he when they kick off the door, but he didn't see his who because them in the living room. So and him hear the shots fire. That's the time he grab up the small one, but they were so brave, smart. The little one didn't even scream to make them realize that there is somebody inside there. The bigger one came to the bathroom. There's a door there. He locked the main door to the bathroom and he escaped through the back door and head towards my house. That's how we get to know what is happening this side. So eventually after that happened, all of us come by and get to know what is happening. Yes, that's how it is.
It is very sad. I mean, the last time we spoke, we expressed the sentiments of the community coming back from where it has plunged. And this has put us into a new low because it is said that nights after nights gunshots have been firing in the community. You may have seen it, you have published it. I think about Thursday that they hold a man in the community with illegal gun. He's been charged with illegal firearm and ammunition and breaching the disaster act. And it is really sad knowing that anarchy, last night when I hear it, it's really pained my heart. I cry about it because I know her personally and her 2 children. And I know that she is a very quiet person. I ask myself the question, where did she go wrong that somebody would think to, do this to her? It's a girl that, she barely talk. Know that she's jovial, but she barely talk. I don't see the company that she kept to say, yes, she's in any bad company. So it's really grief and I can't find the answer, but my appeal, it is saddened. I have expressed to just about everybody that comfort really need a lot of intervention. I'm calling upon the churches in the community to pull their resources together and let us walk through the community. Let us have series of prayer through the community.
Kush and I are partially neighbors. She lives just below me. And this has been going on. They have firebombed her house twice. It's an incident that has been going on. She got 2 warnings, so I suppose they were trying to tell her that it's a direct hit out for her life. She should leave. She didn't take the warning, she didn't take the threat. Yes, so they came for her now and they took her out. Comfort has become very uncomfortable, you know. And as I say, we hope to see better things happening for Comfort. We've long prayed and hoped for a savior, you know what I mean? A redeemer for this community. The youths of this community have lost their way. A lot of them have lost their path. They need intervention. They need divine intervention. We're hoping for that from this community. We're hoping for that from the leaders of this community, that they can get back to where we were. And my prayer today is that these young people will come to God Himself, know God, and know that everything that you put out comes back to you. The negative energy that you send out will come back to you. You have to be careful. There is a God up above. He's watching. Don't think that you can take somebody's life and it will go just like that. You understand? We need to have the love that we used to have. We need to get it back. And we need to get our reality check and get back to where we were.
Gang violence cripple vaccination blaze. Gang violence in the St. Andrew Southwestern constituency is crippling efforts to drive up vaccination against COVID-19 in several communities there, increasing concerns that the most vulnerable may be left behind. The constituency, represented by Member of Parliament Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, is one of the most populous seats in Kingston and St. Andrew, boasting more than 25,000 enumerated residents. But fewer than 300 turned out for the Ministry of Health and Wellness vaccination blaze on Friday.
It's a difficult task. Don't let anybody tell you it's not a difficult task. How easy or how difficult was it to mobilize constituents to come out today? I don't know if you would have remembered that I made a statement when we started the Blitz at Arena. And at the time, I think I'd gone about on the third that first time. It has been extremely difficult. I've never hidden that. And a couple of things make it difficult. One is the misinformation and the disinformation that exists, but also because the community is really very divided. You know, just right there, Greenwich Farm, for example, Greenwich Town proper. From West Avenue, people don't even want to come over right here because they're afraid to come over just for their safety. You know, so I've been in discussion with the police. The police themselves are stretched, so they're here giving us support and they're going up and down. But people actually want them in the community. Persons have said to me, send the bus so the bus can move from community to community. I've been discussing it with them because I also know that resources are stretched, but it has been really, really difficult. I have one particular community, I won't call any name today, that really needs special attention in terms of that. I know I couldn't send a bus down there. I couldn't send the vaccine bus down there for the against it. That is how deep-seated the fear and anger is. It is something that we have been working. I've been working with my leaders. We have made significant progress with the leaders that we have. Not everybody. We haven't been able to break through everybody, but we are working. I was concerned about today. We have done a lot of work. We have done the town crying. I have got a number of our leaders to actually go on the road. I've been there with flyers and just talking to people, you know, dealing with what are some of their fears. As it did the last time, we were able to get, I think, 100 eventually to go to stadium. We got some to go over to Haile Selassie when they had theirs. In the blitz in between, we have been able to get a few. And my leaders, I have some leaders who really have been working hard, and they'll tell you how difficult it is. I'm pleased to see some of them who have really come out. Some that I've been working on for quite some time actually turn up. You know, there are persons inside there who are afraid of needles, who are fearful, although they want to come, and they're in there. I spoke to a young lady, she said to me, you know, There were times I felt like getting up and coming out of the room. I said, but I'm glad you stayed. And she said, I'm glad I stayed too, because she got it. It was Johnson & Johnson, so it's only one shot, and she's good and she's done. You know, there are also persons in there who are asking me to help them sign up for the $10,000 since it's Johnson & Johnson and they're now finished. So we're doing that at the same time. I think it is a continuing process. We have to work really, really hard to make sure that persons understand. And I believe here as well as all over the world, we did not, I think, deal with the misinformation and disinformation early enough and strongly enough. And so we are seeing also some of that has taken root. You know, there are people who say, you know, farmer take it. I know some people take it and them just disappear. And they really believe that these people have just disappeared after they have taken it, you know. So it is not an easy thing, and I believe that we are going to need more additional work in the community in terms of public education to get people to debunk some of the myths and to get people to be able to come out with something.
Bob Marley's former home partially destroyed by fire. Opposition leader and MP Mark Golding touring the former house of reggae legend Bob Marley on 2nd Street, Trenchtown. The house caught fire on Saturday, leaving a number of families homeless and destroying sections of the already dilapidated building.
The fire just was everywhere, from our room and just spread up there. But the ill gentleman was still up there in the house sleeping. Got up early this morning, I was on the inside, I was there playing the Candy Crush game on my phone, till I heard the young lady that lived upstairs on the building, on the next side of the building, she was calling her family that lived up there because she did not sleep there, or the gentleman that lived there with her. They did not sleep up there. But because of the man mentally disturbed a little, he was still up there in his sleep. So she called because it's her family, and he came and he pulled the gate at the bottom and she went up. I was still listening while she went up. Whatever she was doing, I don't know. But she came back down. After coming back down, about 5 minutes, I went out to sit on the veranda there. Heard fire like popping, you know, like when you catch fire and it'll catch up. It'll catch your ear, the fire pop like. Wasn't really paying much because the next door neighbor, living on the same building as well, he was out in his yard sweeping and singing, so I thought it was he that put some garbage together and was catching the fire. So I did not pay mind. Then I heard people on the outside shouting the same young lady that went upstairs where she lived and saying that, "Your house upon fire, your house upon fire." She didn't turn back, she didn't look, she didn't come down. The people that must still saying your house is on fire, your house is on fire, till another set of people that is hearing what they're saying started to say to her, you don't hear the people that tell us say your house upon fire, your house upon fire. Anyway, she went up the road, I was still here, come off the veranda now because I saw the fire flake, came down, so I came off the veranda now. When I came off the veranda, there was the heat. And then I really spin around to look up, and when I look, all on that side, the fire just was everywhere, from our room and just spread up there. But the ill gentleman was still up there in the house sleeping, not knowing, but the heat eventually wake him from his sleep. So he came running down and the fire was there like just a plover come back behind him.
The building that caught fire is actually the home, the old government yard building in which Bob Marley and his mother and Bunny Wailer and Bunny's father lived together, and that's where they grew up, and that's really where the Wailers emerged from that building. And we have plans, we've been planning from before Bunny died. Bunny and I had been working on this project along with Chris Wimstone, who is an architect who has done a lot of work in Trenchtown and was one of the driving forces behind the revival of Trenchtown Culture Yard. The three of us have been working, bringing in the KSAMC, bringing in the Food for the Poor to try and relocate the residents living in that building to a property across the street, which we've identified, which the KSAC own. All that land, or most of that land, is owned by the KSAC. And we and Food for the Poor have agreed to build some houses to relocate the residents. Unfortunately, there was a fire in the building. The roof, the upper section was damaged, but the building was already in a very dilapidated state and will have to be substantially renovated anyway. So I'm hoping that the project will continue And we need to try and expedite it because we've been working on it for over 2 years now, and just getting all the wheels to turn at the same time in the same direction hasn't been easy. But with what happened today, there's an additional impetus to try and get it done.
Boy, my needs is a lot of things, but right now I need a roof over my head back. That's my most important part. A roof over my head back, that's it. Because right now I'm thinking about using a piece or two before and try to catch back the ceiling and try to get back these stuff inside.
There were 3 families living in the building, so they have all been displaced currently. And their families, I would say probably a region of 10 people overall, maybe a little more. I haven't got the full listing of names and numbers. My team is doing that today, and by Monday I should have that information. And my intention is, of course, to try to mobilize some support for the families, which is a standard procedure when we have these fires. And we have a lot of fires, unfortunately, because of the old housing stock and the crowded conditions and the fact that some of the electrical connections are not always formalized. So, this is a part of the problem of the lack of investment in our inner cities, and especially in housing. We really need to have a major program to improve the infrastructure. We have sewage issues, major sewage issues. The sewage system is old and was built at a time when the numbers of people living in the community were much less. So with the dense populations now and some of the living habits of people where the sewers are, people throw rubbish in the sewers and so on, they often are overflowing into the street, and so there's a lot. Jamaica needs to really invest in the inner cities, in the housing and infrastructure, to improve the social amenities and give people the dignity they deserve to live a life of peace, and where they can achieve their aspirations, even when no matter how poor or difficult their starting circumstances may be in life.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.